Today we're having a look at David Ferrer. In this match, this is sort of a coming out match for Ferrer in 2007 US Open. It's a round of 16 match. Just 2 days earlier, he had taken down David Nalbandian in 5 sets, saving match points, in about over 4-hour match. And now he comes out against Nadal 2 days later and takes him down in another long 4-set match. He then goes on to beat Cella in the quarterfinals 2 days later to make his first semi-final of a Grand Slam. He's continued fine form since then, and he's been in the top 5 or 6 players in the world now for 4 or 5 years. First, let's have a look at some of his typical points. If you want to play like David Ferrer, you have got to chase every single ball. You've got to be ultra fit, ultra quick. He's known as someone that gets to every ball, makes you play over and over again, which he is, but there's also a lot more to his game. And I'll try to show you some of the tactics he uses, because he does have some clear plays here. I've put a drawing on the court here. Ferrer likes to stand where the circle is, and the reason why I've got the arrows at that angle is he will always, whenever he can, as much as possible, go forward to a backhand, and because he's leaving his forehand open, he often has to move backwards to his forehand. He has more power with the forehand, so he can handle going backwards to it. The backhand, he has a short swing. He wants to step into that backhand, lean on it, and use all his body weight into the ball. And he'll keep hanging over in that corner and look for his off forehand. Another thing you'll see is he's not afraid to use his off forehand, even though he hits it into Nadal's forehand corner. Doesn't worry about the whip down the line. He thinks he can cover it, or he thinks it's too low a percentage for Nadal to go to. It's an important point for players. In today's game, everyone wants to hit an off forehand. Don't be afraid to hit into their forehand corner. That opens up their backhand, and especially against a lefty, when your best shot's going to be your off forehand. So here's a typical Ferrer point. You see him, he steps into that backhand. He's looking for that off forehand. He has to go back. Steps in again. He's going to scramble as much as he can until he gets a chance to attack. I put on a few sort of typical points of him playing great defense and just looking to move up on that backhand or to set up his off forehand. He sort of shuffles up to the backhand. It's something we've been working on with Pat. Is actually running up to the backhand. Because of the shuffle David does, he struggles a little bit when he comes forward, and you'll see him do a lot of this sort of thing where he gets up inside the baseline, but he doesn't follow the ball to the net, and then he gets pushed back. He'll use 2 or 3 shots to get to the net, because he doesn't volley unbelievably. He'll normally go for the drop volley on a lot of occasions, so he'll get mid-court balls and then rely on his ground strokes, and then he'll only come in when he has a very easy shot to put away. So you can see how fit the guy is. He played 4 hours with Nalbandian, 5 sets. Now he's having another marathon with Rafael Nadal, and he's able to run him of his legs. Okay, so we wanted to have a look at how does he set up his mid-court balls, and there's 2 main ways. He has 4 or 5 real avenues, but there's 2 main ways. The first one is with his serve. His serve +1. He's a smallish guy, but if you look at him, how often he serves and he gets that forehand to hit the off forehand. Again, serve, set it up. He was in trouble, so he just closed there. A lot of times in this match he uses his serve sets up a mid-court ball, and from there he's able to dictate the point. Nice sneak, that was his only serve volley of the match. Good lesson for the players at the lower levels is you must use your serve. You look at this guy, he's 5'9", maybe 5'10" in heels, yet he's able to use his serve against someone who returns like Nadal to set up that second ball. So often he hits a winner with the second shot. If not a winner, it's completely set up. So at a futures level or challenges, you've got to be able to use the body serve and be looking for the forehand, and that's what he does really well. After his serve, he lands and he's ready to go. He's looking. He'll stay over here to the left in the court and he's off. In this match he had about over 40 winners, over 20 forehand winners. It's tough to do against Rafael Nadal unless you have a plan to work, to set up those shots, and you can see his plan here. Starts with his serve +1. That's his first go-to tactic. Now the next thing he does, as he gets into a rally, he wants to set up his off forehand. Like I said, he's not afraid to hit this off forehand into Nadal's corner. He'll go forward, he'll hold over here. Now he's got his chance. This time he goes inside in, gets the winner, and often he'll also go the other way, inside out. Let's watch how he is able to cheat over to that side, leaving his forehand alley open. Because of the angle of the whip on Nadal's ball, it's always coming back towards the middle. Ferrer sneaks further and further over, and sets up this off forehand. If he gets there inside the baseline, creates that angle, he's so quick. Now he's quick for two reasons. He's looking for it, well, three really. He is a very fast runner. But he's looking for the off forehand, and he cheats to get it. He doesn't really want to play volleys from there, gets away with it this time. Generally if he gets a low one like that, he will do the drop volleys, so the opponent should be on their bike once they get that down low. There he is again, over in that backhand corner. Looking for his off forehand. Takes it back and up the line there. His general tactic is step in, hit that backhand cross court, stay over in this corner, rip the off forehand into Nadal's forehand corner. Once he's got him pulled out there, he can go inside in, or he can look to sneak in and knock off the easy volley. exactly where he wants to be, inside the baseline, opening the angle with his off forehand. He worked hard to get that shot. There it is again. Another tactic he uses very rarely is, if he can't get the off forehand, he'll use his backhand. As you see here, he'll step in, use the backhand, take it early. And that's where I see that shuffle step up to it. It helps him to prepare early. But his real weapon is the forehand in the ad side. Because he's so fast, another way he does create winners is through his defense. When he's on the run, Rafael Nadal takes him out of court like this. He can then catch Rafa. He can hit one great shot like that deep one, and now he's switched it. In this rally, he has to do it twice. Another deep ball, he's able to switch it again and get control. Now he's up. That's a great short volley. We're used to seeing Nadal turn defense into offense, and in this match, points like this, David Ferrer was able to give him some of his own back. I wanted to show the shuffle on this one. And you can see he shuffles up to that backhand and hits it, and that's why he gets caught here. He doesn't quite get in enough. If he had a run up to the backhand, he could have moved through it and got a bit closer to the net, but that's just the way he plays. This is another tactic. This is his sneak. He sees he's stretched. It's sort of a delayed. He lets that one bounce and then hits the forehand. There's a few more of these sneaks where he's just waiting for that opportunity. He sees he's going to have Rafa out of court and he'll come in. It wasn't really a mid-court ball, it was very deep, but he recognised Rafa in trouble and he came. And here he stops, looks, and then he comes. And again, sees the ball floating and in he goes. There he is again, turning defense into offense. I think these are the break points. He did very well in his break points. Let me have a look at his numbers. And the reason why he able to draw errors on break points because he's put so much pressure on with his legs, showing that he's going to get every single ball back. He was 7 for 14, breaking Nadal's serve. Nadal's normally very, very good at holding serve and playing his best tennis on break points. You can see here, Ferrer puts him under pressure. Great return there. He's got what he wants. He's got his off forehand. Now Ferrer's dictating the point. Normally we see Nadal able to dictate on the break points. Again, very good deep return, and he'll do anything to get that forehand. Now the reason Nadal missed that ball is he's scared of Ferrer's wheels, Ferrer getting back into the point. You can see a few of those cheap errors which you don't normally see from Rafa. If you chase every ball, guys are going to go for that little bit more, and there is again another error. Once again, draws that error. Even if he can't get to the ball and it's going to bounce twice, he's going to chase it as hard as he can. And the reason he does that is for these sort of points, these break points. That's in the back of Nadal's mind. This guy's chasing everything. There he is. You can see he's often the aggressor, setting up his off forehand on these important points. 50% win percentage on break points against Nadal is very, very rare to see, especially to break him 7 times. Even when Rafa saves the break points, often Ferrer is in control. Here he's able to be the dictator. He gets the ball he wants, just clips the tape. Once again, he's got what he wants. He's inside the court. Got Rafa on the stretch, and he misses it just long. It's a little bit too excited there. Once again, there's his ball. Just misses it. So even these top players, at big moments, they feel the pressure. But you can see he is that little bit more aggressive on the break points. Again, he jumped up on that backhand and missed it just long. And that was the only return. Those 2 returns he missed. Other than that, he made Nadal play some tennis to stay in the break points. This is when Nadal had 6 break points and broke twice. These are the 2 he broke. The first one was a bad decision by Ferrer. And this time Nadal was able to dictate and get the break. But other than that, Ferrer served very, very, very well. This is the other one where he got broken, where he got a little bit nervous on that high volley. This is more how he wants to play the break points, using his forehand, using his legs. And again, Nadal goes for too much, worried about Ferrer's retrieving. Now look at how he uses his first serve. We talked about it before to set up the mid-court ball. I'll let it play because there's a lot of serve plus ones, but we'll start with, he did very well on serve in this match. So you can see he wants to use that serve, he wants to get a forehand. Sometimes he'll get a cheap point. He was 82 serves in out of 124, so he was 66% serves in, and he won 69% of those, which is a very big number. And the way he did that was, he had 5 aces. He doesn't really try to hit aces very often. He had 10 unreturnable serves. He did 1 serve and volley point, which he was 100% on. Nadal hit 1 return winner. Out of the 82 serves that went in, Ferrer was able to get a forehand 57 times. And that's why he was able to keep that percent so high. You would think Nadal would be able to hit more return winners with Ferrer, he cheats over. He's looking for that forehand, but as you can see, Nadal's not able to do that. Now I'm just doing the serve +1 to see how he gets that next hit, and you can see almost all the time it's a forehand. Like I said, 57 out of the 82 times. There's his one serve volley point. When he gets that forehand, he's going to then have control of the point. When he has control of the point, he wins, more than 70% of those points. Very important point here for the younger players, the lower level players. Use your serve. You don't have to hit it 130 miles an hour. You don't have to hit 20 aces a match. This is a very long match. He hit 124 first serves here. Only 5 of them were aces. Only 10 of them were unreturned. So set up your strengths. Now his strength is his forehand, his off forehand, leaning on it and then controlling the point. And he's able to set that up with his serve. And that takes practice to be able to hit your spots, to be able to give the guy a lot of different looks, different speed, different spin. But, and David Ferrer is someone who works very, very hard, and he's worked hard on that. You can see him there working to get that forehand. Probably missed that one just long. And he leans on that one. There's one of his 5 aces. And there's one of his 57 forehands after a first serve. Another thing for young players to learn is don't try and hit it to the guy's backhand all the time. Because if they're anything like Ferrer is, they're going to be over there and you can't get it to their backhand. You have to play into the forehand corner, especially in today's game. That off forehand, that sort of shot, guys love hitting it. And they hit it very, very well. Sometimes you make them run into the forehand corner, they don't play it as well. I've seen an old tape of Agassi against Lendl, and he often returns to the forehand corner and opens up Lendl's backhand. I think Nadal, if you watch this tape, would probably agree he needed to do more of that. That sort of ball. Now he has it. Now he's in control. If you put it there, you're in trouble. So all these tactics, I think, we can work on them, and younger and lower level players can definitely use them. Use your serve to set up your strength, whether it's your off forehand, whether it's your serve volley. It's no use trying to just hit aces. The other thing is, you see with David Ferrer, he cheats over. If he can cheat against Rafael Nadal and leave his forehand line open, And I've got to think against lesser players you can cheat just as much. I know there's this one return winner from Rafa on the first serve. You might not have as much on your ball that Ferrer has, so you think you can't cheat as much, but you're not playing against Nadal either. A really bad bounce there, and wasn't quite the first ball that he wasn't ready for. And the last thing I looked at was his second serve return. I've seen Ferrer on a clay court, in the juice court here, he will always get a forehand. Here, he doesn't. He wants to stand up, try and make contact around the baseline. He'll normally bang his backhand cross court like that from the ad side and get into the rally and try and get control of it. It's almost 50-50, or actually he hits more backhand returns on the second serve than forehands. In the juice court, he'll look to get around. Now, he did draw 7 double faults from Rafael Nadal, which is very unusual for Rafa. So Rafa certainly felt the pressure. On the ad side here, he'll normally just hit a backhand, bang it deep cross court like that, and then get into the point. On the deuce side, he'll be more aggressively looking for a forehand. That's a little to do with the court position. On the ad side, he doesn't want to go too far into the doubles alley on the return. He still did very, very well against Rafa's second serve. He won 57% of the points, which is a very, very good number. And those 7 double faults helped him because they came at important times. Rafa felt the pressure in this match. I think when you go out there to play, you have to have a firm plan with what you're going to do. Now, his plan was that on the ad side on a second serve, I'm happy to hit a backhand. I'll bang it cross court into the Rafa's forehand, and that'll probably open up Rafa's backhand. On the juice side, he does want to get a forehand, and it's sort of like 60% of the time on the juice court, he'll get a forehand on the second serve, like this. And on the ad side, probably 70% of the time, he'll take a backhand. Whether it's a forehand or a backhand, he's aggressive with it. You see he does make some errors, but he does draw some double faults, and he puts Rafa under pressure. Now, I often hear, oh, David Ferrer, yeah, he's just a grinder, he runs around hitting balls back. Well, he hit 42 winners in this match, and he came to the net, I think, over 30 times. 35 times, I think. So, and you can see how he made that happen, how he set it up. He has a plan for where he's trying to hit the ball. The other thing, he's always bouncing around, and that also gets in your opponent's head. You can see him before a second serve, he's bouncing. He's a little energizer bunny. He doesn't worry about the misses. He'll still step in and rip the next one right there on the baseline, looking for his forehand, and he gets the error. Now, the reason I wanted to look at his serve +1, his return +1, and how he created mid-court balls to attack is, I think those are the things that are in your control. When you're about to hit a first serve, you have to have a plan for what you're doing with your serve and what sort of shot you're expecting from it. It's the same on the second serve, and you can see he has a very specific plan. This side, he wants a forehand. He can get into the backhand then and start to control the rally. And on the ad side, he's happy to rip a backhand into Nadal's forehand corner and get into the rally that way. Get control now. So I think I really enjoyed watching Ferrer. I mean, I always enjoy the effort he puts out, and this match was no different. He leaves it all out there on the court, chases every ball, and I think that's a very good lesson. Even if it's going to bounce 3 times, I think he'd still chase it into the grandstand, because when those break points come along, you get the cheap error. Keep your opponent under pressure, and then have a plan for where are you serving, what do you expect to come back, and then what are you going to do with that next ball. Same on your return. What are you doing on each side of the court on your return to serve, and what ball are you expecting back from your opponent? Alright, thank you.